day 716 being Christopher Cruz, 8:15 p.m. obviously. Just got off a call with Araceli. We just basically built her whole coaching program in a call, which is just so powerful. Because we did her purpose, got clear on her purpose, and then we have to transfer that into an actual business. And it's so good. We created all of a sudden, so we're going through it, and in the beginning the energy just didn't feel right, and my energy just didn't feel right, and I didn't feel like we were making very much progress. And I was like, there's a moment where I was like, okay, God, just help us with this. God, just give us some clarity on this. And so I just did a quick little prayer, and then boom, all of a sudden, because the problem she's meant to solve in the world is suppression, people suppressing themselves and their emotions and everything. And so all of a sudden God gave me this thing called the Cycle of Suppression, which is it starts with, the whole cycle of suppression. It starts with getting hurt. And when you're hurt, the next cycle, the next part of that cycle is you suppress things, and that suppression leads to certain actions, acting like you're okay, like you don't need anybody, whatever. That leads to emotions, anger, resentment, loneliness, then reinforces the hurt. And you get in this vicious cycle of getting hurt, suppressing it, acting a certain way, making you feel even worse, and makes you even more hurt, and then suppress it. And you're in this vicious cycle. And then I drew a spiral into this black hole, and that black hole is anxiety and depression. And it was just all right, this is called the Cycle of Suppression. And I was like, dang, that's good. And she was like, wow, that's good. And then I was like, okay, that's cool. and as I was drawing that out and explaining it, she was talking about what it feels like. It feels like you're in this dark hole and you're just doing everything you can to climb out of it, to claw your way out of it. And I helped her see hey, this problem. That's why you can explain it so well, and you don't have to think about it. It's just natural, because you know it so well because you live with it. And so that was great. And I was like, okay, we're making progress. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for the clarity. And then I was like, okay, let's create your coaching program. What does it look like? And then we're going through it, and she's outlining, okay, call 1 is this, call 2 is that. And then we get to this point where I remember okay, God gave me this 3 levels of forgiveness for her. 1 is forgiving others, 2 is forgiving yourself, and then the 3rd one is forgiving God. And so we got to that. And then the last part was the apology part, where you actually have to apologize to the people that you have unforgiveness for. And that was a little rocky. She was not totally down with that. She was like, never, not gonna happen. And it just helped me see even more living into our purpose is gonna be the hardest thing we ever do. It's gonna be the most challenging thing we ever do, because it's gonna force us to be someone that we haven't been before. For her to be able to apologize to people that hurt her, she's gonna have to be more loving than she's ever been. And then I talked about Jesus, that's how Jesus was. That's unconditional love. While they were, nailing nails through his hands, he said, Father, please forgive them, for they know not what they do. That's unconditional love. That's a level of love that is rare. And I was telling her, you're called to be this loving. That's why God has given you this problem to solve in this world and this challenge. And the thing is, as you coach more people through it, you're going to get really good at it. And so, it was great. So, it was interesting at the end. But it was just, it's just amazing to me what God allows me to do for people, how he uses me to create this stuff with people, to create brands, to create coaching programs. It's in a 2-hour call, we just created a whole coaching business almost. We created a brand, we created, signature proprietary systems and and everything, and we created the coaching program. The next thing we got to do is we just got to figure out the pricing and the brand name, the name of the program, and then a strategy for getting clients. And then boom, she's got her coaching business. And yeah, it's just like, man, if I was doing that for someone else, like, that is easily a $10,000 service right there. I mean, obviously we do it in more than one call. You know, we'd probably split it into like 5 or 6 calls, but definitely 10 grand for me to help you create your own coaching business, your brand, your solution, your proprietary, you know, systems, your pricing schedule, everything. Like, easily $10,000 for something like that. And it's so effortless for me. And so I just feel so grateful that God has blessed me with this ability to create this kind of stuff and see connections and you know, things that I wouldn't normally, that most people wouldn't normally see. So yeah, I just feel super, super grateful for that. So yeah.